Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Hans Fakir, the Healthcare CEO, and this is my podcast, the Healthcare CEO Podcast, where we add everything from health to business health, financial health, personal health, credit health, spiritual health, mental health, and we put that into this podcast that we add people that added those things and made it a business, right? So there you get the Healthcare CEO. What did you take and what did you do that you were passionate about and you made it a business? With that being said, today is my first credit health guru, right? She's going to talk everything about credit health to business funding. So she's going to help you get to that next level. And one of the beautiful things about this podcast is she's going to dispel all the myths and all the untruths that the social media is spreading about business funding and business credit and personal credit. So she's been doing this. I've known her for years, and she's been doing it way before I knew her. So without any further delay, I want to introduce the one, the only, MrsCashflows to the Healthcare CEO Podcast. Let's go! I wish I had this lit up, but whatever, we'll just turn it.
Ring the alarm.
What's going on, baby girl?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Bring the mic closer to you. Speak to
Yes.
the mic.
Testing.
Right,
1, 2, 3.
right, oh? Yeah. Good, you look good.
Thank you.
You doing good?
You looking good.
I'm trying. I got to get rid of this weight, but you know.
Oh, no, you
about to
looking
go to
great.
Jamaica tomorrow. We
Perfect.
gonna figure this thing out.
Yes.
Now, you've been on the grind since I've known you for the last going on 4 years.
Yeah.
It goes by fast, right? She actually helped me move out my house.
No, I think I met you in 20.
25 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So, listen, I want to tell people something, but what we do to make people really understand who you are and why they should pay attention to this podcast is we're going to give some credibles, meaning like some credible information. You're not going to come here and start talking shit because no one knows who you are.
Okay.
Right? So we got to just really put some facts out there because the one thing about you is something that's about me. And I noticed this. I tell all the naysayers or the people that might not know who I am or just have issues with really putting the money out that I ask them to put out when it comes to ambulance, I go check my Instagram, check my posts, you see nothing negative. I tell people, that's my resume. You want to vet me? I got over a couple hundred posts, 1,000, check it. And then somebody will say, dude's a fraud, ... I don't see that with you either. So that's number one, right?
Now, that is a great observation. You are one of the few business people in this town that I've never had anyone say anything negative about, ever.
I try not to because my name is bigger than the money you give me, right?
100.
I had one guy who was like, I don't want to do this no more. I gave him his money back. My peace of mind ain't worth going back.
100%.
Right? So, and not all his money because I was like, I'm getting paid for some of this stuff. We ain't doing that. But at the end of the day, even when he had doubts, or whatever we was going through, I was like, yo, check somebody at one point, you and I have been doing this for way too long for nobody to be like, yo, they full of it, like they garbage.
Yeah.
I was like, just check. If you got one person saying that, then, I'm going to find out what that's about because, some people ain't going to tell you the full truth. But when you can sit there and go, nobody got nothing bad to say about you, that should be the resume you hold up.
100%.
Because we put ourselves out there to the public for them. We're constantly posting.
Yeah.
So you're susceptible to people saying that. So I haven't seen that about you either. So we're going to ask those questions that people want to know, and then we're going to ask them, how do they get to that? So what do you specialize in? Credit?
No. So business funding.
Okay. But you help people with credit, personal credit too, or no?
So whatever it's going to take, your road to funding.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What is the highest credit score you've helped somebody get to?
850. I've helped a couple people get 850.
Okay, now
Yeah.
you see, so when they make that face, my team, which we have a team of 5, right, including Jada. Yeah. But some of them's out of town, but they're very good at what they do. So shout out to Chris, and all of my other team out there. So the most you've helped somebody get to is $850. What's the largest amount of money you've helped somebody get?
Funding, I would say $1.2 million. It was an SBA loan, though.
It's still funding.
Yeah, it is. And he was struggling for years to even get an SBA lending. Like, it's very complicated. They have like 30 to 50 pieces of items that they will ask you over and over again. But me being familiar with the process, we're already ready to go. I'd be like, get this ready, this ready, this ready.
Last question before we get to who you are.
Yeah.
What separates you from all the thousands of people that say they could do this online?
I am going to help you become funding ready. This is financial literacy for me, right? And I also come from worst case scenario. So I'm very different than anyone that I know that's high up. Shout out to everyone. They're killing it, who I love. But a lot of these people they were kids, 20 years old, saw funding as an opportunity. Me, I was an actual entrepreneur, which experienced devastation, went to multiple six figures in my business, lost it all because I did not structure out properly, and then decided like, hey, I have a gap in my learning, built myself up. Not only did I get rid of my own I filed my own bankruptcy
Oof.
for $276. Then I got rid of my own bankruptcy, and then I funded myself $300,000. No one has that story.
Dang.
If they do,
All right, cool.
where they at?
Where y'all at? I know some good people, but yes, that's a dope story.
Yeah.
So at the Healthcare CEO podcast, we are 90% information, 10% motivation, which that was 3% of it. I need the other 7% because that was definitely motivating. And then we also ask all of our guests to leave your keys at the door. And I'm sorry, I'm going to stop hitting this. I keep remembering. We're going to leave your keys at the door. There are absolutely no gatekeeping. So you gave us like 3 dope examples. You got somebody over $1 million. You got somebody over 800 credit score, and then you funded yourself, so you're self-taught. Is that what got you into the business?
I cannot say that I'm self-taught. Okay. I had a very dope mentor, right? And so
You want to shout him out or just leave him alone?
No, because I shouted him out enough.
Okay.
I'm better.
Right, okay.
No, but not that I'm better. But right now, he doesn't even offer what it is that I'm offering. I'm in his higher ticket mentorship.
Y'all heard that though.
Yeah.
Mentor.
I definitely had guidance,
Wait, we got to
guys.
say the questions though.
I definitely had guidance.
Remember your question. Good.
Do not think for one moment that you can do anything that you've never done before and be successful at it and not have guidance or a blueprint. There's just no possible way. I was sitting here with a bankruptcy, driving Uber, someone who never struggled with finances in her life. So if you understand my story, my parents were drug dealers. I'm not proud of that, but I just was always with abundance of money. I just never lacked for anything. Went to college, got out. I was making 6 figures in my 20s.
You was doing drugs too?
Yeah, no.
Oh, you said yeah. She said yeah. Let's get him. No, I'm just kidding.
See, this is a comedy category at this point. Okay, so so I went into IT. I was a network analyst. So I was trying to, follow the American dream because my stepfather at the time, he was like, no, you will do computers. Like, I didn't have an option. So I flat out I couldn't go to nursing like my friends. It was 3 of us, right? We was real close-knit. They all made a pact. We were all going to nursing school. Yeah. And I was like, well, I can't go with y'all because they said I got to go take up computers. And that's what I did. And I was very successful at it, and I was making multiple 6 figures. I mean, well, not multiple 6 figures quite yet, but I was making like over $100,000. I had so much money. I wasted so much money in my life. When I tell you I lived. I'm not going to lie to you. And so shopping sprees, just everything at a young age, and just blew a lot of money without any guidance. Because if you think about it, my money blueprint was cash flowing drug dealer type. It's more where that come from. And we just, no saving, no foundation, nothing for the future, nothing about trust, nothing about put something up for the kids. And when I got older, I remember asking my mother, like, all that money y'all made, you never thought to put something aside for the kids just in case you got caught? It's like, nah, we just wasn't. But I say that to say that depending on where you come from, your money blueprint is already set. So if I'm now bankrupt and this is a new condition for me, how am I going to get myself out of that situation if I've never been in this situation before? I needed mentorship. And I did what I needed to do in 5 months. And that's why you're talking to me right now, because at the time I didn't know it was anything phenomenal. I just knew broke was not a condition I was about to accept.
Yeah.
So when he told me, hey, I can help you get rid of that bankruptcy and I can help you get funded, he didn't have like a step-by-step guide. And so be careful when people call people scammers too. People expect when they jump into your mentorship that you're going to do the work for them. So oftentimes when it doesn't happen like that, they want to blame somebody. But that's just that person's mentality.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. And even with the person I gave the money back to, I'm like, you know what? Let me start from the beginning. Do you know what mentorship means?
Yeah.
We give you the information. You got to make it work.
Blueprint on me, execution on you.
All day of the week, twice on Saturday. But it was like, Hans, you're not doing. I don't work for you, my dude. If I did, I'd just go open up an ambulance company where you live and have you work for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
I already know how to do this. Why would I exert all my time? So yes, a lot of people don't understand that. You guys still got to put the work in. And shout out to my guy because he's a real good guy. I just think that you deal with the same thing that I deal with. I could tell you two how to start an ambulance company. Hey, get an office, get a couple of computers, get 2 ambulances. The business acumen, I don't want to teach. How to develop relationships, how important relationships are, the value you put on certain things that you're buying, how you create connections. I don't want to teach that. That's the frustrating part about being a mentor. You could teach someone what kind of credit they need, how to get credit, but what do you do when you establish that? How do you, like, you and I have a relationship, always just been friends, but it's been more than transactional.
Yeah.
And people don't understand, hey, now I could call you 2 years later. I want you to be on my podcast. You're episode number 9. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I understood my business acumen developed, and part of that was creating relationships. Like Chef Tony just said, the relationships put them onto bigger platforms, right?
Yeah.
And so I always pay attention to who wants to rock with me just because of what I offer, or who wants to rock with me when I'm sick and I'm down. Just like, yo, you good? I'm just checking on you. Shout out to Haitian CEO. I don't call him a lot, but I'll call him every blue moon and be like, yo, what's up, bro? I saw your post. It's dope. And I don't need nothing.
I'm going to give him a call. I haven't called him in a minute.
I just love to tell people.
Yeah, he's good people.
Like, I give them their flowers when it's not even, it might be something that they don't think is a big deal, right? But that's part of having that business development, that you don't just work around and say, no, you're my mentor, do this. It's like, hey, what do I need to do?
Yeah, the expectations are very unreal.
Yeah.
And so for me, they say you succeed for one or two reasons: motivation or desperation. I was both, right? I was motivated to get out of driving Uber and get some money in my pocket and get a new opportunity. And I just was desperate to get that bankruptcy off. So he didn't have like a step-by-step. But one thing I can say to him, his information was stellar, okay? He showed up every week. He would be sick. He would be in the bed. His family would be sick. He would be on a different vacation on a whole island in a whole nother country. He never missed our call. And he was available to us to ask questions. So his commitment and I
pay him?
Yeah, I paid him. So we paid. Well, no. So it was part of the mentorship when
How much was the mentorship?
At the time it was $5,000 and I negotiated it to $3,500.
But you still paid. So
I paid. Yeah.
Someone who just left here said he paid $15K. So we all understand that.
Oh, my first mentorship was $20K straight from corporate America.
But we had to understand that. That's part of my first mentorship was $10K.
See?
You know what I mean? And so, it was always like, and even when I didn't get out of it what I wanted to, it wasn't the guy's fault. That was on me. You know what I'm saying? I knew it.
No, I know that I should not do lower ticket. That's me. So I learned that. It took me a little while to figure that out. I've paid for so many $3,000, $5,000 programs that I just did maybe 3. And I was like, they're still just sitting there. But you always get something out of it. Like I took a speaking course and I went through it, and it helped me with my stage presence, So another thing, when you talk about business acumen and how to do, there's mentorship for that. I've had mentorship for that. Yeah. You have to develop yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's dope. So you met with this guy, you paid him for his mentorship.
Yes.
You're a part of his mentors class.
His group, his community.
It was all about what? credit or business funding?
So it was both. And so what I would like to, more importantly, I didn't have access to him. Like I can call his phone number. I had the lower ticket package. So, but I got in when I got in. But let me tell you something. When I first ran across him, guys, this is key. His free information, he was on $1 million worth of game. And he gave out a free doc, which is something that I give out similar to. It's called the Kickoff. And it was just like getting started, cleaning up your like fundamentals and cleaning up your personal credit. So I took action on his free stuff and got results. I was like, man, when I get the money, you know, I'm going to join. The community is what helped me. So I moved to a new area, which was Atlanta. I didn't know anyone. So all my friends were just people from the financial literacy group, right? From the mentorship. I didn't even post and tell anybody that I funded myself, but they told everybody. So as soon as I got into the group, because I thought I was going to start a Turu company. So I said, that's when Turu was hot, 5 years ago, remember?
Listen,
people was posting up on with whips. Like, hey, you can drive like me. You can roll like me.
My coach just shitted here and beat up. I'm like, I'm done with this shit. People sell the stuff, but they don't tell you the crap that you got to go through.
Guess what? When I did that, 3 people, Rockman, you know him, Rodney, 3 people who are still good friends with me today. They didn't know me from a can of paint. Say I joined the mentorship and paid for it and got access at 11 a.m. I made my post immediately. I looked at it the next day. It was 3 people who responded. I was like, who here has a Turu business? It was 3 people who responded, and Rodney was one of them. And he got on the phone with me. He was like, girl, don't do it. He say, it's not the question if you're going to have a car accident, it's when. And if you got a car note.
Your insurance.
Oh, he went in. He told me the whole business. And I was like, dang, what am I going to do now? And so I just let it go. And then my next post was, who here has a credit repair company? Because I had to act like it wasn't me with the bankruptcy to get some information. I said, I have a client with a bankruptcy, you know. And then a few people got on the phone with me, and somebody literally held my hand. I quit on credit repair on myself 3 times, and he had his own credit repair company. Just part of the mentorship, didn't know me, and called me like, hey, what was the response? I was like, you know. He was like, no, you get back. He was like, what you doing right now? I'm like, nothing. He was like, hop on Zoom. Let's write this letter right now. We wrote the letter. It was after the second, third time I quit. And he put so many laws in there. I'm just typing. I'm listening. I'm typing. He's like, now go to the post office, get a certified mail. He said, scribble on the side and put some staples on the side of it and send that off. Sent that off. I promise you, within a few days, got a notification, delete it. I couldn't believe it. So I say, before I go to the bank, I want to see it in person. Yeah. So like a week later, I got it in the mail. Deletion. I literally cried. My credit score went all the way up to an 830 something, 830. I was like, oh my God, thank you.
Thank you, Jesus. Listen,
yes.
I want to say something because I want my young guys and everybody, if y'all pay attention to this podcast, there's a common theme, right? Your first guy gave you work for free.
Yes.
You remember what Tony was saying, and we said the whole Mr. Miyagi thing, right? You put yourself out there because you're always going to have more information to give someone. Then you pay for, if you can't find a mentor that's free, pay for a mentorship. And then put yourself in positions where other people can pour into you. And I'm just showing them that none of my guests know each other, but we all have the similar patterns. And you know, with Preston just left. His first mentorship was $15K. And then, you know, he's like, that's still his mentor until today.
Exactly.
So, but you're saying things, and I'm letting people know, this is not a gimmick. And my team can vouch for this. None of my guests have spoken to each other, but they're all laying down the same type of foundation.
Why?
Right?
Because discipline is key.
Yeah.
So what is success? Disciplines practiced daily over time. What is failure? Errors in judgment practiced daily over time. So every day when you have a mentor, you have a blueprint. So you're not just shooting darts in the dark. You literally have a step-by-step guide, and you have someone to at least call That's worth $15,000.
Yes.
If you can just ask me a question to avoid roadblocks.
Oof, boy, I'll tell you. So listen, I love what you're doing. I love the energy. So now you're out of this. So now you don't need nobody to prove anything because you see it.
Yeah.
So now you're like, okay, I'm gonna start doing this. When did that happen?
Oh, I didn't choose it. Okay, so
you?
so I'm glad you're asking the question because you do know me personally, and that's how I ran into you. So my goal was just to start a home healthcare company.
That's right.
That's how you met me.
Yeah.
I did not ever do business online. So I had an Airbnb company. I got terminated as a network analyst. I turned my condo into an Airbnb with the guidance that literally actually was my first mentor. Mm-hmm. Now I didn't know I needed a mentor or anything like that, but she literally was a high ticket. It was a woman in my condo building because I was ashamed. It was my third time being let go from a project in 2014. And I was like, I just can't continue to do this anymore. I had all these people I was responsible for. My mother, she was divorced. My, family, the black tax was real back then. So
the black tax?
Yes.
What's the black tax?
If you successful, your family is taxing you, baby. They know your payday and everything. They on the phone on your payday. They got a problem.
I gotta add that. Yeah, it's the black tax.
Wait a minute. Here it is. If anyone knows like a family member, you're like, hey girl, hey, yeah, what's going on? And then they get to talking to you like everything is cool. And then within like 5 minutes of the conversation, like I was struggling, with like a light bill. And then that really used to hurt my feelings because I'm like, dang, you're not even genuinely checking up on me. Like this phone call is resulting in a favor.
Yeah, man, I've had those calls where it's like, yo, can I call
but I got over it.
It's like,
2,700.
We don't talk like that.
Exactly.
But you can ask, my friend.
I was gonna ask basically like when you like chose your mentor at like speaking to a college student, right?
Make sure you're on the mic though, right?
I ain't gonna lie to you.
But is this one of those? Because we still got to give the step by step. So how much time we got?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So let's do this because I want you to lay down a blueprint. We talked previously. So now we understand who you are. You basically show people that you're credible. And I wouldn't even have you on here if I didn't vet you. But I didn't have to vet you because I've seen your growth, right? And now you're doing business funding. So let's break it down and I always tell people common sense is not common. Leave no stone unturned, right? And just break it down for someone like myself. I have a business. I have a very viable ambulance company. We need money. Medicare is not paying right now. What is the first thing I do?
Okay, so
I call you.
You call me. We need to pull your personal credit profile. First, have this basic understanding. So I'm going to give you a basic understanding for the reason banks will even give you money. Okay? Number one will be your credit, your personal and your business credit profile. What does it look like? Number two, collateral. Do you have collateral? Yes, you do. You have ambulances, you have facilities, and your business has assets, right? Or any equipment that has a serial number attached to it.
Okay.
All right, cash flow. What is your cash flow looking like? Okay, that matters because if you don't have credit or collateral, your cash flow can essentially get you some form of business lines of credit. People don't talk about that enough either. So you can do bank statement loans like 3 to 6 months, right? And it's just based on your cash flow and you can get funding for that.
So let's do it. Let's break it down though. I call you. Here's my situation. I got two situations. We're gonna put Ms. Cashflow to the test.
Let's do it.
All right. One situation is got an ambulance company.
Yeah.
That has been around for 4 years, whatever, longer, and so we need money to just help us get through the tough months. And then the second situation is I got a company called Who in the Cut. It's my podcast company.
Okay.
Right. It's actually O's podcast. We have an LLC. It's only been around for 2 months. My credit score is, let's say, 620, right? But I need funding to get equipment, a space, blah, 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 blah. How do we attack both step by step? Let's start with the one that's easier, I'm assuming.
Okay.
I call you, Ms. Cashflow, I need some money. What's the first thing you're going to tell me to do?
Okay, so first I'm going to look at your personal credit profile, right?
I'm
and see where you are.
80.
Okay, credit score does not matter, right? So let's break it down. So you need to understand the 5 data points, okay, and what makes up a credit score. And if you're satisfying all 5 of those data points, because one credit card on your credit report can rate you at a 7. Like I literally have my nephew with just one student loan debt that he's paying back, 2 accounts, and he's literally at a 700 credit score. And that's the only thing on his credit report. It's just that he's been paying it on time for like 12 months, like literally. This is why score doesn't matter. So what makes up a fundable credit profile would be to have high credit card limits, right? I'm going to look at your credit card limits. I need to first check to see if you have at least 2 years plus of age, right? Is your credit report at least 2 years old from the date you started getting funding, all right? Do you have at least 2 credit cards that has a limit of $2,500 plus? But actually, I'm going to look for more, but I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
How many inquiries do you have? Do you have less than 3, right? Do you have a nice credit mix? Do you have loans from a bank and credit cards reporting, right? And what else? Credit card usage. What percentage of your credit cards are you using? Now, once we take a look at all of that.
Wait, real quick. That's always been a confusing. You're supposed to only use this percent. You're supposed to use that percent. What is the rule of thumb that you tell your clients that you should not go over?
You should not go over 30%.
30%
will not harm you. But before we go to the bank, all my mentees, I tell them to bring it below 10%.
Below 10%. Okay, cool.
And the reason being, just to provide a little clarity around that, is because each out of all those 5 data points, it can be converted into a pointing system, right? So 35% makes up your late payments and your payment history. 30% of that score, so 35% will equate to 225 points that you can gain or lose if you have late payments.
I'm sorry. We're going to cut real quick.
Is that Junior?
Who is that?
It sounded like a baby.
We can edit.
Okay.
All right.
I just don't want it. Okay. So I'll just.
Pick up from your 5 data points.
Or you want me to start over? That'd be cleaner
No.
to edit.
No, he got it.
Because I forgot where I was.
You was talking about your data points, and you was talking about 10% utilization.
Oh, credit card utilization.
Close it all the way. You want to sit down and be on a TV show?
Okay.
That was quick.
Oh, that was his question. That always confused me. Credit card utilization.
Yeah, but you said you're answering it.
I didn't.
You said you did. You said you
I
want
didn't.
to tell all your mentees to go below 10% and not
Oh,
go
yeah.
above 30%.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
You
And that's where I stopped, right?
Yep. Which was very good. And you were saying that this thing equates to 200 points. Your utilization.
Got
is
it. The
another
pointing
200.
system. I'll start from there. You're right. Okay.
We got you.
Okay, so when it comes to your credit profile, when it comes to the 5 data points, everyone starts out with a 350 points.
Okay.
So you have the opportunity to gain an additional 500 points, which will bring you to the 850. So the FICO score is broken up into 5 data points. 35% of those 500 points are coming from payment history. How do you pay your bills? 30% of those 500 points are coming from your credit card utilization. What percentage of your credit card balances available to you are you using? 15% of those 500 points are coming from your credit age. How old is your credit report? 10% are coming from your inquiries on your credit report. How much new credit are you applying for? And then 5, the 5th one is 10% is coming from your credit mix. Do you have banks that have given you loans and credit cards?
Like
And
revolving
we
credit.
need a good balance.
And no one's ever explained it. They just say I could get your credit score up. But then people like myself, we fixate on score, not
Yes.
just data points.
So if you're in a 620, I know something is wrong. It's either you have late payment issues, because if you think about it, look at the most detrimental. It was the payment history and the credit card usage. Mm-hmm. So if you have high credit card utilization, you're looking to gain or lose 175 points. That's how someone with an 800 credit score can be down in the 6s
And so
just by allowing their credit cards to spike.
And this is why sometimes, tell me if I'm right, people be like, yo, I'll sell you a trade line, or put me on your credit card, because somebody might have a credit card of a $40,000 limit that they never use. So when they add you as an authorized user, that gets your score up.
It could, but to be quite honest with that, it's per credit card, right? So what that's going to do is play into other data points. The credit mix, it can play into the credit history. Like if you got a credit card with $40,000 on it that's 15 years old, that can add age, right? But not so much for the credit card utilization, because especially if you're someone, it just depends. If you're someone that has high credit limits like 20, 25,000, you max out 40, 50,000, for you to get enough trade lines and the amount of money you're going to pay for trade lines or get someone else's trade lines, that almost never works. So stop listening to people when they say that, oh, you could just add a couple of trade lines and that'll fix your credit utilization issue until you get into their community and see you not getting funded.
Yeah. No, the money you said you spent it on, you could just pay down your damn bills and get it fixed yourself.
100%.
Okay, cool. So now,
or since we're on that, and God just brought this to me, because I know a lot of people struggle with high credit card utilization. If you have a good relationship with a credit union already and you're struggling with a little high credit card utilization, just check to see if they'll give you a personal loan. Or if it's something, because some people can be in a situation where they can pay their debt down temporarily just to bring that credit card utilization down, and then go apply for a personal loan, and then transfer that debt over to a personal loan, because installment lines of credit, which are loans from a bank, are more healthy than having high credit card utilization.
I love that. Dang, okay, dropping gems. Let's go. All right, that's great for people that didn't know that, right? Because they're like trying to pay their debt off little by little every check. But you might get enough. You might have enough credit to just say, hey, you see I'm good for it, and I'm just trying to clear this off.
Yes.
So that way I have one loan rather than a bunch of other ones.
Or hide the debt. You can transfer from one credit card to another, or just spread the debt amongst all your credit cards, because I'm guilty of that. I have like 2 favorite credit cards that I use a lot, and then the others I just leave dormant, because you'll see people with credit card utilization issues, and you're like, but you got like 30,000 on these other 3 cards. It was like, yeah, I know. Well, spread the love.
Yeah, facts. Okay, great. So, all right, so we call you. You check out our personal credit, right?
Optimize it. That'll be step number 1.
Then you start reviewing it. Optimizing means what?
Making it better.
Okay, so you're going to tell me, hey, you need to bring this down, that down, that down. So this can be a lengthy process.
It depends. It's not as long as you may think.
Okay.
So very importantly, if you're someone with like a 620 credit score and we need to add trade lines, I would say like join the ACC, the American Consumer Council, and get access to credit unions. Credit unions like to give out high credit card limits, right? And the reason we want to do that, we want to get a high credit card limit from a credit union to start, and then maybe follow up with like Bank of America, because they do something known as credit match. So if we can go to a credit union like Apple Federal Credit Union or Navy Federal, which is our favorite, build that relationship. What does building a relationship mean? Signing up, funding the account, direct deposit, participating in their products. That's what building a relationship with, and building history. Don't immediately think you're going to sign up with the bank, and that's what people do, and immediately ask for money. At least give it 90 days. And if you're going for business funding, at least cash flow $10,000 plus for at least 90 days. If this is a new account, before you ask for business funding.
Gotcha. Is Navy Federal good for business funding?
Well, no. They only got the credit card that they have isn't a 0% interest. Yeah. So you can get the trade line just to increase your business credit profile.
Gotcha.
Right. Yeah. But when it comes to the reason we're optimizing the personal is because if you do not have any business credit, we want to position ourselves to leverage that personal credit profile for business funding. But in your case, and that's what I want to mention, because I know you have a lot of people that's in your industry that's going to watch. Yeah. You're in a risky industry. So anything where you're behind the wheel for any reason at all, logistics, ambulance services, it does not matter. You're in the logistics industry, and it's highly, highly high risk. So your funding journey is going to be heavily based on building a healthy relationship with the bank. With you, I would ask you, who do you have relationships with now?
Navy Federal and Truist.
And we're going to go to Truist.
Okay.
And if they see all that cash flow, we're going to optimize your personal credit profile, and then we're going to go to Truist. I love Truist. You were at a good bank, and then we can ask for business lines of credit because you have 4 years of history.
Yeah.
Right? Business funding coming in and out. So that bank will fund you. Now, you trying to just pop up at Bank of America and, with no relationship
no bank accounts with them,
and a risky industry, that's where the problem comes in at. But for you, we'll go to Truist to start, to ask for money. And then number 2, we're going to use your cash flow to get you funding.
Love it. Okay, great. So you optimize someone's personal credit, and then what's the next step?
You build relationships with banks.
Okay.
So that's where I was
open
headed.
up a bank account.
They open with credit unions specifically to get those higher limits.
What's your favorite credit unions that you would tell people?
So instead of me just yelling off banks, because everyone is national, I would say go to the ACC, American Consumer Council, see what credit, join for like $10, and it gives you access to hundreds of credit unions. See which one is local or great. I like not Truist. I like Navy Federal. I like Apple Credit Union, and it's another one. DCU. I like them, and they're more national.
What's a credit union?
It's digital credit union. And you build a relationship with them because why? Because they honor the relationship that you have with them and the products and services, which is increasing your internal banking rating with them over your credit score.
Now we said we're going to leave this no stone unturned. We're going to act like common sense saying is not common. What do you mean by building a relationship with them? Adding account or actually going to the bank and building a relationship with the actual person?
Perfect. I love that you asked that. And he's looking out for you guys today. Yeah. So, for instance, if I want to build a relationship with Navy Federal, so it's different to build a relationship with a regional bank or like Truist. Or regional banks are good banks to build relationships with when you're in a risky industry. Okay? That's why I love that you're with Truist. And then for personal credit optimization, let's build relationships with credit unions, okay, like Navy Federal. And then national banks, Chase, Bank of America. Okay, so now we're talking about Navy Federal, a credit union. So they like to honor your relationship, your time with them, the amount of accounts you have with them. So say, for instance, I'm going to make this easy. And it's the same is true, but maybe different scoring numbers for every bank. So let's just say your possible rating is a 1 to a 4. So if we get 4 products with them or 3 to 4 products with them, it brings us to their top tier rating, right? So with Navy Federal, you get a personal checking, you get a personal you get a personal account and a savings account, and then you get direct deposit, and then you can participate in something called their pledge loan, just to get that 4th product, which will push you over the line to get you to their top rating, right? What does that mean? So say, for instance, if I only had a checking and a savings, and I go and I apply for a credit card, my relationship and my internal banking score is only 2. Right, so they may feel like, say the highest possible amount they give new accounts is $25,000, but since my banking rating is only 2, they may only give me $75,000, and this is real. These are real numbers. $7,500 with Navy Federal.
A personal loan.
A personal credit card.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we're optimizing that personal credit report, and then if I had took advantage of all 4 products, they will approve me for the 25. So building that relationship properly will depend on the amount you get approved for.
Got you.
Strengthening that relationship.
You said something about a loan. What was the loan? A pledge loan?
Oh, a pledge loan. That's where I'm confusing you at. Okay, so a pledge loan is when, say for instance, I look at your personal credit profile and it's not optimized to where you don't have enough trade lines. So instead of getting AUs, authorized accounts, you can start going to credit unions and getting secured lines of loans. right? Installment loans. So what a pledge loan is a securitized loan, which is securitized by your savings account. So for instance, and I took advantage of it myself, but I wanted high credit lines to show up on my credit report. So whatever you show up on your credit report and whatever you're creating will determine the amount you will get approved for in the future. Okay, so if you want a baby line and you want to put $1,500 on there, don't expect to get a real loan no more than $3,000 because they're going to look at it to see if you have at least 50% of what you're asking for. So now we're in the optimization, making the credit report better phase. So take the most amount of money you possibly can, create that pledge loan because you're creating a healthy trade line.
Okay.
So if you can get yourself on at least $2,500, they're only going to hold the money for 4 days. This is why I love Navy Federal. This is why people love Navy
What do you
Federal.
mean they're going to hold the money?
So you use that. So most securitized or secure products, loans and credit cards, they hold the money until the loan is paid off. So you want that secure loan term to be at least 24 months. So with the pledge loan, it's not going to take, you're not going to hold, say I start an account, a pledge loan, or I create a pledge loan for $2,500. So I use the money in my savings account to create the loan, right? And then they transfer that loan money into my checking account. And then I can take that same amount and pay the loan down. Right? And typically you want to pay it down as low as you possibly can, pay it down 90%. Pay it down, leaving a little balance because you don't want to pay it off fully because then it'll close the account off as paid. Our goal is to have it rate and to strengthen our personal credit profile for at least 24 months. Note, for your notes, do not close down an account before 24 months if you can possibly help it. It just strengthens your history.
Nice.
And it just looks better.
I love it. So now so people start an LLC, they come to you, you pull their personal credit, you optimize it, then you help it get better, right? And then you start telling them to sign up for the AAU.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's like this is the blueprint.
The
and
ACC.
Now, ACC. And now you tell them, you and that person have a discussion on, hey, these are the things that I chose. And you go, yeah, I think those are good, or whichever. And they open the account, and then you tell them, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to ask for. Those are some of the basic steps that people can do to start getting business funding.
Yes, but that's just one part of it. And then I'll just go over it really quickly. So optimize your personal credit profile, build relationships with banks, bring your business credible on paper and online, and then build out your business credit profile fully.
What do you mean make your business credible on paper? You mean actually have an LLC and an EIN?
Correct. Have your documentation in place. Have your P&Ls if you need it. If someone like you have your affairs and your finances in order. If you're in a risky industry like ambulance services,
Or the restaurant.
EMS or restaurants, correct. And then you will be able to get money for that restaurant if you build, and that's a highly risk industry, if you build that relationship properly.
Okay.
So once you do that, you just want to make sure that your name is proper and all documentations. So if I go out to look for your company, all the information should be congruent, meaning it should match the name, phone number, email, website, address. Duns and Bradstreet, Secretary of State, your website, all of that information should match.
Nice. So, same thing that Press told us about getting government contracts. So, yeah, he told us the exact same thing. That's why I didn't get my contract yet. But, so I got to fix that. You know what? Good thing that you brought that up. I did tell Preston to call you because when you and I worked together for someone, I referred to you. You showed me how to get them to call the IRS to change the information on the EIN, whether it was the address or something.
Yeah.
It was. So remember to give me that so I could give it to Press so he can help me fix mine. Because my EIN is to my house address.
Oh, yeah.
And so we got to get that information going.
Fix that. I'm glad he said that, guys, because you want to fix that because I've had mentees where if your home address is showing up, they'll be like, oh, this is a home business, and they'll give you lower U.S. Bank is famous for that.
Giving you lower funding.
I had someone that was set to give $50,000 or close to $50,000. It was like $48,000 or something. Business line of credit, and he couldn't prove, something with his address. It was like a virtual address. He was having issues, and they was like, well, you can use your home address, and U.S. Bank will trap you like that. And he was like, okay. And they was like, oh, now this is a home-based business, so we're giving you $3,000. I was like, oh my God. I told him, do not accept that.
I love it. Listen,
Yeah.
you were saying everything that we say. How much time we got?
We're at 45.
God, this thing went by fast.
Okay, we can wrap. We can
You
wrap.
were doing your thing, but you gave people the steps. Please, now, so, it takes a while for me to get people like, Mrs. Cashflows in this. I remember the first time you went viral, you called me, you're like, I'm at 10,000, 12,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. It was super dope. We shared a lot of good times, but I know how to get in touch with you. So listen, guys, if you need to get not just your credit, that's the beginning, but get some money to help you fund those dreams, stop trying to do it by yourself. You got people like this that is credible that can say, hey, I can help you get from here to here. You guys are spending way too much time trying to figure this shit out by yourself, right? So the one thing you're going to need is the vision, you're going to need the passion, and then you're going to need the money, right? Let her do it, right? So if someone wants to get in touch with you, you are also going to be featured on the Healthcare CEO community. So we're going to do a webinar as well.
Oh, nice.
And we're going to show people how to access, we're going to create an affiliate link. So all of my guests are joining the community, and we're going to bring their followers onto the community. But if someone wanted to get in touch with you, how would they do that?
Just MrsCashflows on all platforms, but follow me on Instagram, MrsCashflows. DM me the word kickoff, and I'm going to give you a bunch of free resources, how to bring your business funding ready, a complete checklist.
Let's go. Well, listen, this is number 9. I don't know what 9 means, but it means good things to me.
Is it completion?
Right?
I don't know.
If it's completion, I don't know, but whatever. But listen, we got number 9 wrapped. You are a special guest. I've known you for a while. Mrs. Cashflow, she's helped me out. She could help you all out. Listen, Healthcare CEO Podcast is about not only your business, your personal health, or your mental health, but it's about your credit health. And you just gave us a lot of gems, and you gave us a lot of value in a prescription form to show people how to become healthier with their credit and their business funding. And you just told me a lot of stuff that I didn't even know. Because I was like, yo, what's my score? What's my score? Now I got to go, where's my points going? How do I get these points? Like, that's a podcast within itself.
Yeah.
Right? That's an episode within itself. So you guys heard her. You got to find her on all platforms, Mrs. Cashflow. We're going to send you a link to do a collab. Oh, and we had a question from O. So I'm sorry, O. What's the question?
Hold on, let me make sure. Okay. So speaking to like the younger community, like the college students or the people that's graduating high school, like how would you go about trying to build your credit and get your credit to the 750s, 800 at around our age? Like how would you go about that?
Oh, I love it. I speak at high schools, and I have a family meeting, and my nephew, he's in college. And you guys soak it up. Let me tell you something. You can be a millionaire and quite wealthy a lot faster than us with this information. I didn't have this access, okay? So all you'll do is do some of the things I spoke about. Start building relationships with credit unions. See if your parents are good with their credit cards. And if they are, have them add you on as an authorized user. But if they're going over that 30% or they're paying late, that's going to help you. So you don't need to do that. So you being in college, go to ChatGTP. Since you guys are millennials, what is that? What's this error? Gen Z?
Yeah, we're the
Okay.
millennials. Well,
Yeah.
you are, I'm the.
So Gen Z, you should be able to go to ChatGTP, and there are credit cards out there specifically for starter credit cards for college students. But in addition, what I would like for you to do is build that relationship exactly how I just explained with Navy Federal, right? And get that high credit card limit.
One question I have for you is, my daughter's in college.
Yeah.
And she just got an apartment. I put the Georgia Power under her name.
Okay.
That does help with the credit sometimes, right?
They have like credit builder accounts that you can start adding utilities.
Yeah, it boosts your credit a little. Not too much, but it helps.
Yeah, it does help.
Yeah. Okay, so you can do that as well.
Yeah,
That's
but
like-
pay on time.
Yes.
I mean, everything. So it's a reason that when you're 18 years old, I talked to Hans about how much money I blew. Like it's you need this time. So within 2 years, you can be prepared with an LLC. I would say, so they don't start giving you funding until you're 18. I would say get a corporation set up right now and allow it. You're up under great guidance here, and literally just allow it to start aging and start add at least 3 personal credit cards to your. I would say 4 personal credit cards to your credit account, and then add 2 pledge loans, or go to DCU and do what is known as a quick cash loan. After you've been, look that up, after you've been in a relationship with them for at least 6 months, they don't care about your credit. This is why I love credit unions. So DCU has something called quick cash loans. Get 1 or 2 of those. Now you're playing with that credit mix. We have 4 to 5 personal credit cards, and we have like 3 to 4 lines of credit. And now you will have you will literally be in the 800s within, a 2-year period if you follow what I say and pay everything on time. Stay away from those credit builder accounts, actually. I'm not a fan of them. Yeah, if you don't need it. Yeah.
I love it. Let's ask. You guys are asking questions I might not ask.
Can you hear me?
Is this being filmed or?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Okay, I have a quick question as well.
Sure.
So for me, my family doesn't really know much about building credit. Like when I turned 18, my mom told me to stay away from credit cards because she didn't think that was something like I was ready for at the time. Or even now, she has I feel like in the Black community, it's kind of stigmatized to get money to build money. So
100%.
what would be your advice? Because I'm listening and taking this information, but for older generations who don't know where to start, what do you think is the perfect start for people who didn't have that guidance that, how to build credit or this?
Okay.
Good question.
Okay, because I'm not focusing on the older community because they're so conditioned at this point. It takes deconditioning to get them to this conversation and open to it. So you take the steps, and it starts out with Money Management 101. Another thing I want to put out that I'm going to get into is annuities and IUL insurances for you guys. I want you to set up an annuity account right now and start putting a percentage. You should not spend no more than 70% of your earnings. You should take 30% and put part of that in an annuity and another part of it in an interest bearing and cash increasing IUL insurance account. Look that up. You can do that. You will literally be a millionaire in a short period of time. Just automatically have it taken out of your check, $100, $200 every 2 months. It's a long play. Within a couple, it just compound insurance. It can go anywhere from 8 to 15%. It just depends, and it just keeps compounding and compounding and compounding. That's you creating insurance and a security blanket for yourself. I didn't do that because you see my environment.
Yeah.
So I didn't come from an environment, they didn't even talk about credit. We just spent money and we went shopping. And then you're right, you have the other parts that say don't use credit. That you don't want to owe anybody anything. So I had a mix of both of those. So I didn't want to, leverage credit in order to grow. Being responsible with it. So I'll leave you guys with this, and this is for the young people. Learn how to earn money, learn how to keep it, and then learn how to make it grow. That's the formula I just gave you. So earn it, take 30% of it, and put it away and invest it. Because you can start borrowing against those assets, like that insurance account. You can become your own bank. So imagine you're 20 years old and you do what I just said. You just put away $100 or $200 a month. You can do that. And then by the time you're 40 years old, that money is beyond any amount of money you've never seen just because you allowed it to grow.
Yeah. You got to understand one thing, and I love what you just said. You got to make your money work for you, right? So if your money sits in a bank, people go, oh, like the old school people say, save your money. You will never hear a millionaire say, I became a millionaire by saving money. This shit just doesn't happen. They make their money work for them. Your money has to be treated like an employee of yours, right? So you either waste it or you use it to make more money. That's the goal. And with the parents, my parents were from Haiti, right? So I understand a lot of the things you're saying. So with my parents, I never held any resentment. I just understood that there's things that I'm going to take from my dad, and there's things I'm not taking from him, right? I'm learning lessons either way, right? Because you can learn a lot from a broke person than you can from a rich person, right? Because they'll tell you, hey, how not to lose it. And sometimes that's more valuable than how to get it, right? And so you just got to understand with your parents. My dad he passed away in 2021, was still writing checks. He didn't believe in paying his bills online. Wrote a check, go to the post office, mail it off. So like Ms. Cashflow says, some people are conditioned, but what you can do is if you become successful and they're, God willing, still around, then what I learned is you will change your parents' habits by becoming something that they never could imagine, right? Our parents have to see it. And then when you become a millionaire, they're now more susceptible to listening to you, right? But until then, they have this disbelief in everything. You're not that young, right? And we're definitely older, but you guys have to understand if we talk about, and this can be another conversation, don't hold any resentment, don't force feed your parents because it's just now that mental health is becoming a thing. Can you imagine what our parents went through that wasn't even allowed, right? When I worked at the fire department, I worked with 300 firefighters, 10 of us were black. And they were wondering, and I love having uncomfortable conversations. And we had these conversations of how come people can't get out of welfare? I was like, you think because you did something hundreds of years ago that it wasn't generational? You know what I mean? You didn't kill us financially, you killed us mentally. And that transitions to every
systemic
generation,
racism.
right? But what I want to tell people, what I even told my brother the other day was you got to stop holding grudges against our parents because my mom was born in 1947. The Civil Rights Act was in the 60s. She was around when you could not get on the bus. You understand what I'm saying? So can you imagine what they learned about, I'm going to keep all my money, or I can't. There's a lot of things that they were conditioned to do that they just didn't know better.
Or how about black people? It's a story that I ran across that some years back, like around your parents' time, that black people put their money in a bank and they just took it.
Yeah.
Like they would just take black people's money and say, we're not giving it to
This is
you.
a whole nother podcast, but when you look at all the times that we grew cities from Central Park
Yes.
to, what's that lake in Georgia?
On Lake Lanier.
Lake Lanier to Tulsa. I mean, Tulsa gets all the credit, but
Yes.
you really pay attention to. There were over 30, 40 prosperous places that got burnt down, got flooded, whatever. So your mom is probably speaking from something her parents. So it's like it becomes generational, and the only way we could change that is, like she said, be the difference. And they go, when my dad really started listening to me is when I was like, oh, I'm about to do this, right? Because they're always speaking from a place of fear.
Yes.
Right? And it's like, my dad, I'm the youngest of 4, made me the financial person when he passed, right? Because I was like, no, we doing this and we doing that. And then he's like, okay, but my siblings they worked for people. And I was that one that was like, I'm not working for nobody. And my dad was like, no, you idiot. He called me every name in the book, But I didn't let that stop me. I was like, no, I'm buying a property, I'm buying this. And then my dad was the first one to co-sign on one of my rental properties. But I had to show him, right? So it's like, you ain't going to get nowhere trying to be like, Mom, Dad, you need to do this. When you do it, we tend to follow. Oh, Kristen making money. What is she doing? Well, I did this. And now your parents be like, show me how. Right?
Or they ask you for some money and think you about to drive in traffic. I was like, you better download that Cash App app.
Yeah.
Wait, that's how my mother downloaded
that
Cash
Cash App
App. She was
real
like, I
quick.
can't do it. No, it's fraud. They're gonna. And then she was going on. She was really having a panic attack. And then I say, Mom, stop.
Yeah.
I say, if they steal something from you, they would just be practicing. And she just fell out laughing on the phone. I was like, you don't have any money to steal.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. But listen, we're
Yeah.
going to hold you. Great questions, team. We love to have you on. Again, Mrs. Cashflows. Follow her from IG, Facebook,
Let's go.
Instagram, everything. She's on there. She's on TikTok. And she doesn't hide who she is. She doesn't hide what she does because she's great at what she does, and she's an awesome person. So we love to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank
we're going
you.
to take some pictures with you and get it going. 9th episode. We on number 10. I don't know who's going to be number 10. I got to make this shit dope. But anyways, yes.
Hard act to
TS
follow.
Podcast. Yes, you're a hard act. And you gave so much good information that you and I are definitely talking after this. And yes, Mrs. Cashflow, Love to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hans.
We're going to sign off. I'm getting ready to go to Jamaica. I'm going to holler at y'all later.
Peace.
Peace.